Welcome to Valley View Live. We're raising our dukes with former UFC champion Forrest Griffin here as our special guest host, and he is one of the most popular mixed martial arts person of all time. How did you get into the sport?
That is a great question. If I remember, my original answer was women kept telling me I wasn't much of a lover, so I figured I'm going to go fighter here.
Right.
No, I genuinely like to fight people. Like, people would punch me and I'd be like, okay, cool.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I dig it. And then I got old and I was like, that's stupid. Why would you ever do that?
It looks, because my brother is a black belt, and it was so hard for me to watch him fight.
Right.
Because karate,
it's ridiculous.
it
Why would you do that?
It would hurt to see him.
It's a bad idea. It's what I tell kids.
Your
Like,
family,
don't do it.
when they come and see you, I mean, is it like hard?
No, yeah, my mom and my wife, I'm sure they struggled through it. And, you know, I've cornered guys, my friends, and, you know, it's different. It's easier when you're in there than when you're watching.
Right.
Because you can actually do something about it. When you're watching, you're like, Forrest, come on, get your hands up. What are you doing?
Yeah. And you have training also. You were a former police officer. So did you use your skills as a police officer, what you learned from fighting? No,
not
it's not
ever,
even
not
close.
Once. No, it's totally different. Had I not gotten the job with the UFC, my backup plan was to not do too many drugs so I could go back to being a police officer, and I would teach defensive tactics to police officers. So that's still my backup plan if this doesn't work out.
I'm sure they'd love to have you.
Right, yeah. So would you come out of retirement to go back into?
God, no.
No?
I'm old, and you know, when you're old, you should quit, you know, and your best years are behind you, they're behind you. Yeah. And if you watch the kids today, I call them kids, right. I like that, I get to.
Yeah.
They're just getting better and better. It's frustrating, you know. But, I mean, that's the evolution of a sport that's only 30 years old. Better athletes come to it, and they get better. And, you know, unlike football and basketball, we're so new in our sport that it's happening much faster because it's earlier. You know, there'll be a plateau at some point, but, you know, guys are doing stuff and, you know, kicks and jumpy, spinny stuff that I'm like, why would you try that?
You know what I love about mixed martial arts, too, is that fighting, you don't have to be a certain size. You don't have to be a certain
type.
Like in basketball.
It's all weight classes. Same with wrestling, You think about it, a lot of the best athletes at 155, 145 pounds, what other sport is there for them to play? You're not going to be in the NBA. You're not going to be in the NFL. Maybe soccer. Even then, your stride's a little short. So the best 135, 145, 155-pound athletes in the world are in the UFC.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about somebody who just took a goose dive. Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, yeah. She's one of the, still like one of the people that I idolize. I met her years and years ago. She was still fighting for Strikeforce, and she wasn't. She was pretty popular. And I remember we were doing like an autograph signing, and she stayed. She did the 4 hours, and then she stayed until everybody got their picture, their autograph, etc. And I said, all right, she's new to the game. I've been doing this a while. We'll see how she is, in a couple of years. And then time kept passing, and she kept passed. Good English, kept passing, and she didn't change. She was still that person that would, and you talk about that big loss she just suffered over in Australia. Eventually, she's carrying a sport, a company, $1 billion brand on her back, and she's been doing it for a while. I think kind of looking back, you say, eventually you're going to crack. Eventually it's going to come through. And then Holly Holm's shin and left hand didn't help either. Holly Holm, great performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're glad you're here. You're going to sound off on some of our trending topics.
I have opinions, if that's a thing.
And we're going to talk about fantasy football, too, a little later.
Yes, definitely.